Welcome back. In this video we are going to learn about how to install the client components of SXC Business Suite. So, we go to the Downloads page of SXC Business Suite, and we have to first download the setup files. Right now we shall be downloading the version 2.1, but you should download the latest version that is available. So, we will download the 64-bit or 32-bit setup according to our Windows OS version. What we also need is the Sunwheel Services Setup. So we are going to download this setup also for the same version. It is good to understand that even if you have 64-bit Windows, then also you can go for a 32-bit setup, but the reverse is not true. It's also a good idea to keep these setup files in a folder, so that if you have to install the client on multiple systems, or if you need them later, then you have them readily available. Please note that the Sunwheel Services Setup should ideally be installed on the server, if you are going for a scenario where you have a central server and multiple client systems connecting to the server. So, let us proceed with the client setup first. This will install the different components required for the client to work. You should also look into the license agreement for each of the components, and then proceed with the installation. If the setup fails in the beginning and gives an error in the first step, then the most likely reason is that you do not have .NET Framework 4.6 installed on your computer. Since it is a prerequisite for this software, you should first download and install .NET Framework 4.6 from the Microsoft website. The setup can skip installation of some of the components, if they are found to be already installed on your system. This is the Crystal Report setup. This component is used for viewing and printing of your document formats, like invoices, purchase orders, etc. This thing takes a few minutes to install, depending upon your computer's performance. So I will pause this video and resume once this part is completed. The next component that is getting installed is the SQL Server Native Client. This component is required for some of the reports to get connected to the database. You just need to press next a couple of times, and it should take only a few seconds to complete. Now, this is the setup of the main software, that is SXC Business Suite. This should also take just a few seconds to install. This completes the setup of the software required for the client machines. So, if you have multiple users who are going to connect and work from their computers, then you will have to do the same for their systems as well. So now if you look at your desktop, you should have this link for the software. But we also need to install the Sunwheel Services Setup before we can log in. As stated earlier, this component handles the services and licenses for the product. So if you are going for a multi-user scenario, then you should install this component on the server only, and not on the client machines. However, since we are doing this on a single system, we shall install it on this computer itself. Please note that Windows Defender and some of the antivirus software may prevent the installation of some of the components, and you will have to configure them to allow these installations on your computer. Congratulations! You have successfully installed the client components on your computer. Now you can proceed to the configuration section.